Welcome back to my channel, lovely soulmates. So this is the sewing tutorial of our trendy top with front slit and queenAnn neckline. Okay, so I've already posted the drafting tutorial. So if you're coming across this video and you're yet to watch the drafting tutorial, I urge you to do well to watch it so that you will understand what we are doing and you'll be fully carried along. Okay, so the outfit you see here is the outcome of what we made. So while I was finishing this top, I had issue with light. I didn't have light, so I could not iron it properly. So the top is very fine, and once I iron it properly, it's going to come out more beautiful than this. Okay, so without wasting time, I went on to get my papers and transfer them to my main fabric that I'm working with. Okay, so remember I labeled the paper, right? So and I added 0.5 inches round, and I added quarter of an inch on the neckline. Then on the hem I added 1.5 inches for my hemming allowance. Okay, so this is the center and back, and that's why I label it as C back and CB, sorry. So I added the same 1.5 inches here, then added 0.5 inches here, and I cut it into two just as I did for the center back. Then here I have my my center front and my side front, that my CS and my CF and my SF. I also added 0.5 inches here and 5 inches here, then 1.5 inches on the down as well. Then on the hem neckline, sorry, I added 0.5 inches. Then this is my center front, then this is my side front, and I went on to add my allowances accordingly as well. So here is 0.5 inches I added, then here 1.5 inches as well. Then here actually I didn't meant to add 0.5 inches here, so I'm just going to trim off the allowance I added here, as you can see. Okay, so I left about just quarter of an inch, okay, around the side, and I also cut it into two. So what I'm going to do now is to cut my lining piece to it, and I'm going to interface it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and add cut lining piece. Note that lining piece is not going to be a full lining, just around the neckline, and I'm going to gum my interfacing to the lining piece that I'm going to cut out. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now, and after doing that I'm going to bring it back for you to see. Okay, so remember when I was cutting it, I mentioned that I'm trying to manage my fabric so that it can be enough, right? So because of that I had to cut my lining piece separately, so I cut out the one for the neck here separately, can you see? And I got my estate to it. Okay, so that is why you see that one side is looking black. So I went on to come here, and this is what we have. So I also cut another one separately for here. So I use a normal lining for this side instead of using the satin fabric. Can you see? I cut out for this other side. Can you see it? So that is what I did, and like I mentioned earlier, is because I was trying to manage my fabric, that's why I cut them out separately. So if you actually have enough fabric, you can go ahead and cut it as you want. So I did that for all my part. Then this one is for the neckline for the back. Okay, so I went on to cut it out as well, two pieces, and I added my estate to it, as you can see here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to start joining them. So I'm going to sew here first. Okay, I'll sew this side first before I'll now sew the neckline, the one for the sweetheart queenAnn neckline. Okay, so that is how I am going to sew it. So I'll sew it and I'll show you what we have. So I went on to sew it. Okay, so what I did was I sewed here first, just as I said, and can you see? So let me remove this pin so that you can see it very well. So I sewed this part, okay, that has to do with the down and the button allowance. Then I made a one-time stitch, a one-time fold. Okay, and that is the same thing I did here. So after sewing the other one, I also sewed this one, made a one-time hem on the down. So I'll go ahead and do the second one, and after that I'm going to join the back, the center back and the side back with 0.5 inches, which was the allowance I added. So that is what you actually see me doing here. Okay, So that is what I am doing here, and after doing that I am going to show you what I have. Okay, so the reason why we had to slit the back part even though we are not putting our zipper was because we needed it to give us the best fitting at the back. Okay, so I'm going to take it to my machine and I'm going to open iron. So can you see, these are the side backs and the center backs. I joined them. Okay, so I joined them with 0.5 inches, then join my lining piece separately as well, then use it to turn the neckline of the back part. This is what I have. So it's time to open iron them, and I'm going to do that and I'll bring it back for you to see. So I went ahead to open iron them. Can you see it? So I did that. So I also did that on my front as well. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to place them front facing front, that is right side facing right side, and I'm going to stitch down the shoulder line. Okay, I'm going to join the shoulder of the front and the back. So this tutorial is very simple, like it's not hard. If you just will pay attention to the explanation, you can actually use this method and sew yours. Okay, so I'm going to align this shoulder part like this, and I'm going to join it starting from the lining piece of the neckline. I'm just going to join it straight. So if you don't know how to join the shoulder, this is how you're going to do. You're going to pin it down and arrange them, then you're just going to sew straight like this. Okay, so I went on to do that, and this is what I have. Okay, can you see it? Can you see? And that is that. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take the measurement of my armhole line, and I'm going to use the measurement to cut out my sleeve. Okay, so my sleeve is not going to be a full long sleeve. I want it to be 3/4 sleeve. Like I said, it's all because my fabric won't be enough. So as I was recording, I realized that my camera stopped recording, and that is why you didn't see the cutting of the sleeve. I'm so sorry about that, but if you have watched any of my tutorial, you know that most of my tutorial have sleeve cutting on it. Okay, so I was done. I made a one-time stitch on the hem. Okay, so this is what I have after I cut out my sleeve and attach it, and I have my button here. Okay, so this method, like I said when I was drafting, is the same thing if you decide to put zipper. So this allowance here now where I'm going to lay my buttons to put them is the same allowance you're going to put your zipper if you decide to use zipper. I also made another tutorial on how to sew zipper to it. Like I use the same pattern, the same paper to make one or another of this top that has zipper. Okay, so what I'm trying to explain in essence is that it's the same process. Okay, so after putting my button, I went on to hem the down, and this is what I have. You can see my button is just 4 pieces, and the intervals that I used to put them is 2 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to open it for you to see. I'm going to unbutton it so that you can see, and also have a tutorial on how to neatly sew your buttons without buttonhole machine. Okay, so I have tutorial on how you can make your buttonhole to appear very neat without a buttonhole machine. Okay, so that is what I went on to do. So another thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a kind of style around here. I actually don't know what it is called, but I believe you saw it on the video that's show the outcome of this top. So that is what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to mark out where I'm going to be putting that style. Okay, the style look like a pocket cover, but there's actually no pocket. It's just a styling, just a style that is attached there. Okay, so I'm just going to draw how I want it to look like, and I'll go ahead and cut it. Okay, so I'm just going to set the top aside and I'll go on to cut it. So I'm going to fold this paper into two, and I'm going to cut a kind of rectangular shape. So that is what I did, and each of these is 6 inches long and 3.5 inches wide on fold. Okay, so it is folded into two, and if you open it you have 7 inches, and when it's folded it is 3.5 inches. I'll go ahead and join the side with 0.5 inches and I'll bring it back. So another thing I'm going to cut out is our collar. You can see it has bishop collar. It has a detachable bishop collar. Okay, that is what it has. So I'm going to show you how to cut that. So what the first thing you're going to do is to fold your fabric into two like this, like the way you see me do. And before you do this, please ensure that you take the measurement of your round neck. Okay, measure your round neck as if you are cutting a collar, the same way you measure your round neck as if you're cutting a collar. Measure your neck, like the neck on your body, not necessarily the neckline of your outfit. Measure the neck on your body and make sure that it gives you a little ease. So I measured mine, and the radius for that was 6 inches, because I was actually looking for about 8.5 inches. Okay, that includes the allowance and the ease for my collar. Okay, so I went on to mark it and measured it, and I had my 8.5 inches, and I want my collar to be about 1.5 inches wide. So I am using 2 inches because of allowance that I'm going to use to turn the upper part and the down part of this collar. Okay, so my collar was a bit 0.5 inches wide, so that's why you see me that I kind of reduced it here, and I'm going to remeasure. I should be expecting about 9. Okay, so at the end I had about 9 to 9.25, and I'm just okay with that because I'm going to be using the remaining inches for my allowance. Do you understand? So I proceeded to cut it out, and after cutting this one out, I'm going to place it on the fabric again, and I'm going to cut out another one. So one of it is going to serve as the main fabric, that is the main collar, and the other one is going to serve as the lining piece. Do you understand? So I went on to place it, and I'm just going to cut out exactly this shape. Okay, so because I'm using a bit this duchess fabric, that is this plain fabric here is a bit thick, so because of that I'm not going to be gumming any interfacing, okay, to it. Okay, so if you are using a light fabric, or you want it to be very thick like the normal collar, you can gum your stay to it, or your collar gum. Okay, but I think collar gum will be too strong for it. Okay, so but mine, I didn't gum anything because of the nature of the fabric I am already using. Do you understand? Okay, so I'm just going to take it to my machine now, and I am going to sew it. Okay, so but before I sew it down, I am going to cut out a kind of button holder, because I'm going to be attaching button to it and button holder, so that I can be able to use it to wear it and also remove it. Okay, so I'm going to attach it one of the side, and that is why I cut out this um 3.5 inches wide strip, and I'm just going to make it about 1.5 inches wide. Okay, I mean 3.5 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. I'm going to fold one end like this, the other end then fold into two. At the end I should have like quarter. I'll attach it here before I joined. Okay, so I went on to sew this both side like I said, and I iron it down. Then this collar as well, I want to close the upper part and the down part, then notch it and also close one side, in fact both side. Okay, and attach my button holder to one side, this side. So I went on to give it a very good notch, and I'm going to turn it inside out. So I left a little bit space on the down part, close to the end, close to the one of the end, and that is where I am turning it from. Okay, so I'm going to turn it inside out. Can you see where I turn it out from? Okay, so that was the space I left. So I'm just going to arrange it out, and you're going to see the button holder. Can you see it here? And I'll take it to my ironing table, and I'm going to iron it. Okay, so this place now where I turn it inside out from, I'm just going to fold it in like this. For the remaining sewing allowance I'm supposed to use to stitch it down, I'll fold it like this. Then that is what I did. So I use my hemming gum to hem it down that place to hold it together, and so that it appears neat. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do now is to fix the pocket cover. Okay, so I'm going to sew it like this and turn it, flip it like this, then stitch on top round. Okay, so that is what I did. I used a stitch to just design it round, stitch on top of it round, and this is what we have. Can you see it? So this is what I have here. I just used a stitch to hold it, and I went on to properly hem the down. Okay, so I properly hemmed the down, as you can see. Okay, so ensure that it is opened when you hem. Okay, as you hem, it should be wide open. So I'm going to use my hemming gum to hem it down, all the neckline lining, and I'm just going to iron it properly. Okay, but now I don't have light now, but when light come, I'm going to iron it properly for you to see what we have. So I went on to also fix button on my collar, and this is what we have. Okay, can you see it? So with this is adjustable, you can wear it and remove it as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this tutorial helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and encourage me to keep dishing out tutorials like this. I really appreciate you. I wish to also see you some other time when I drop another tutorial. Bye and have a wonderful day.